In today's tutorial, I will be showcasing you guys how you pressure play like a pro on FC26. So, tip number one will first of all choose a formation in general that you feel comfortable pressing with. Make sure to use one of these four ones. 4-4-1-1. 4-4-2 will probably be the best formation to pressure play with because you have your two strikers that can put pressure on the center backs and then your wingers and then use your CMs obviously. 4-2-3-1 I think is a pretty defensive formation, so not the greatest to pressure in. And the fourth one will be the 4-5-1 formation. As you have three center midfielders, you can easily put pressure in the middle of the park by having one extra CM. So first of all, tip number one will be try to slow your opponent down. So when the opponent has the ball on his own half, the most important thing that you should have in your mind is to try to make the middle as compact as possible, because that's usually where the opponent is trying to find space. And once he breaks the line through your midfield and stuff, that's when it gets dangerous and hard to defend. Also, you need to master right stick switching. You basically do right stick switching by pressing the right analog on the controller and then flicking it towards the player you want to defend with. So we have an example here in the background. You see, I basically make the middle as compact as possible. So if we play this kind of a sequence, you see I make it compact and I managed to win the ball. But what am I doing if we deep dive into it? As you see here, I'm doing offside trap first. That means that the team is pushing up. Super important to learn this. You basically do offside traps by pressing this button twice up. That will mean that the team is pushing up and leaving a lot of space, obviously in behind, but will make the middle a bit more compact and way harder for the opponent to try to find that penetrating pass through your midfield. So once the pass goes to Jamal here, my number one priority is to try to second and press with Mbappé by holding in R1 on your controller. The player that's most often closest to the ball will second and press the ball holder. So you can't just hold in R1 for the whole game. You need to be able to right stick switch, but also pay attention to who is going to be the second man press, basically. That will put pressure on the ball holder. Jamal gets the ball. He plays it backwards, and once he's playing it backwards, my number one objective is to try to cut off the middle, because we don't want the pass to go there. Once he is playing it backwards, I try to drag back Pina onto my own half and cover De Jong. Once I done that, I want to try to cover off pass through Pina and Mbappé, which is this penetrating pass here. And as you see here, I'm trying to do it manually by being on Mbappé and trying to put pressure. And when I feel like, okay, I can actually try to go, that's when I right stick switch to Pina because I see that the pass is coming. And I do second man press with Mbappé to try to put pressure on Koundé. If he wasn't to pass this, Mbappé is still putting pressure on him. This is basically leaning towards me getting the ball and starting my attack from here. An overall very, very good pressure play.